come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Cinema Royale.
Hello, welcome to Cinema Royale, where we talk about movies and have fun. I'm your host, Mike Mixtape, and I'm going to introduce you to my lovely film aficionados, aka my bros of brotherhood and sister of brotherhood, sisterhood of cinema. Holy crap, it's been a while since we've actually been all together on a podcast. I'm happy. Let's just get on to the people. First up, we got Matt Burnett, also known as Matt.
What's up, everybody? Going through hard times right now on my YouTube, hashtag WTFU, but hopefully everything will be fine right now, as long as we all stick together. Just remember.
Yes, stick together, that's a good message. Stick together as one. Next up, we got James Sullivan, also known as Amitude.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by hashtag WTFU, as it stands for Where's the Fair Use or Wake the Fuck Up. You be the judge.
You decide. Leave in the comment below. What do you think it means?
I always thought it stood for What the Fuck, Utah.
No, that'll be during the elections.
Hey.
What did Utah ever do to you?
It's better than the... It's better than the insulted version. What the fuck, Ukraine?
Oh, you can have Ukraine.
But I don't like Russia.
Exactly.
In the winter. In the winter is what I meant to say. But we probably have Russian fans out there.
We could.
I like the Nutcracker. I like the Nutcracker. You're cool, Russia. You're cool.
I don't think any videos are blocked in Russia, so I think we're good with that.
Except for that whole Stalin thing, but
Yeah.
ancient history.
I can imagine that one viewer out there be like, "You insult us! Get the nukes! Superman will save him now!"
Get Grandmama throw the nuke.
Don't run, Lynn! Go, my child! Go after him! Go the one they call Boston!
Or go Red Dawn on her
Just because of the fuck. Why'd you bomb the U.S.? Because this one comment on a podcast called Cinema Royale.
People are that dense. We are only joking. Please.
Marvin's not meant to insult, he's meant to be comedic.
It's funny.
I am sure Ukraine is a nice place to visit.
I'm sure I'm not insulting anybody tonight.
Didn't even talk. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
I'm sure the Ukraine has a statue of Lenin that looks like Rosie O'Donnell, if you look at it from the right angle. But,
So I'm gonna do something new.
We want to literally bask in the glory of Rosie O'Donnell.
I'm doing something. I can't stop laughing. Okay. I'm doing something new for this podcast. I'm going to have a temporary female co-host on the podcast. Her name's Devin Cook.
Hi, everybody. I'm just happy to be here, and I'm cute. That's always going to be my expression. I am cute.
She is cute.
you should try the deeper version, which is,
I am cute. Yo, son, I'm cute.
Hey there, how you doing? Are you cute? Yes, it's very nice. Are you cute? 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 Is that your own language? Are you cute?
We are cute.
Is that how
You just completely recited an entire comic strip of Garfield with Normal.
I thought Normal's name was cute. That's why it says I am cute. It's like Groot, only...
Meanwhile, in Abu Dhabi,
Before... Okay. Before I introduce the last person, I will say this is our 70th episode, and we are celebrating our 30-year anniversary of the podcast, so big stakes for this episode. Yay!
30th
three
anniversary?
years of doing this. 3 years. 2013. Holy crap. 2016. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
We made it this long.
Mm.
Gives my mind
It's
blown.
fucking mind blowing, man. Last but not least,
Is the year took a long time to come.
last but not least, he's making his 30th appearance on the podcast over 3 years. It's Morgan Ledger.
Hey everybody. Just want to say to commemorate this 30th appearance, this third anniversary, not to mention this 70th episode, I'm doing really something special for you guys. I'm doing an Evil Knievel kind of stunt which no one will ever defeat before. To the tune of the Flight of the Bumblebee, I will eat this giant Charleston chew.
I
Not just
know.
yet, Mike. And if I don't eat all of it, I am going to officially change my name in unfortunately humiliating defeat. Right.
You're going to legally change your name to Captain Kirk?
No, something even better. Alright, Mike, you
You
know
have
what to
3
do.
minutes and 25 seconds.
That's all, Mike.
Can he do it?
Do it. You can do it.
Chug, 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 chug.
He's eating it. He's eating the Charleston chew.
Please don't tell me he's gonna have to change his name to Biggest Dickus.
We're a minute in. We're a minute in, people.
Okay. Handle the buzz, handle the buzz.
Meanwhile, in the orchestra, you just see a balding guy with a white long mustache just slowly looking at Morgan.
I am not the narrator.
Gotta stop doing that. Minute 30 seconds.
That's what happens when you do it in front of us. What else?
Run through the umptions.
I don't want to die either, Charleston.
You can do it. You're not gonna die.
That's like the best way to die, though.
Best way to
Yeah, don't listen to us. Yes, thank you. Don't listen to us. The music's playing for the audience. He's not gonna make it. He's not gonna make it. There's no way. There's no way.
Open the hatch, open the
Oh my
hatch.
God, he's running out of time.
I didn't make it.
Oh.
Wait.
1 minute.
still have
1
more
minute
music.
left.
You
You
still
have
have more
1
music.
minute left.
Music.
Oh, I'm over it.
You have 1 minute.
Eat,
Chew it. Chew it.
eat.
Chew it.
Down
Chew
the
it.
hatch.
Chew it. Chew it. There you go. Chew it. 25 seconds.
Do it.
Oh God. Yeah, back.
He's spitting it out.
There's no way he could do it. Or at least not whole.
Oh.
Hands all sweaty for home. Okay. Time's up.
I was gonna say, that is way too much.
I never knew Charleston's Chew was like a brand of chocolate bar.
Yeah, it's a.
Well, I
yeah,
love
that's
chocolate, but
Charleston
that's
Chew
too
is
much
an American. It's like a. What's a good comparison
Yeah.
to it?
Three Musketeers, or
It
like
is
what,
like a
what
Three
is it?
Musketeers.
Okay.
It's got like a fluffy inside.
Oh, like a
Yeah,
marshmallow
it's
thing?
that's that kind of texture in your mouth. There's original was just chocolate with the vanilla cream filling, and there's a chocolate one, a strawberry one. It's got different flavors.
Oh, that's
Yeah, it's really
interesting.
good.
Oh, okay, we don't get those in
Charleston
Canada. That's
chews are
why.
really good.
Well, I love. I'll eat a Three Musketeers. If they ever had a giant Three Musketeers, I'll remember that next.
I love Three Musketeers. I can't
I
eat
thought
it though,
my.
because then I'll get fat.
Just the Three Musketeers.
Hey, I thought my. I thought
Should
I
I
had.
let out? Should I let out all my material now that Morgan's not here?
Just for the viewers.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
just for the viewers.
I mean, you guys have seen it, like the way he put he put all of Charleston's chew on his mouth.
Oh no.
Bertie Sanchez. Uh,
Do I actually have to answer?
Oh god, okay. So, as we get Morgan back later on, I would just say this is a episode dedicated to the late, great John Hughes, the famed writer, producer, director. He has written, directed, and produced many films over his career before he sadly passed away in 2009. His birthday was actually yesterday, February 18th. Today's February 19th. We're recording this on. The strange coincidence is that Molly Ringwald, who's been in John Hughes' films, shares a birthday with John Hughes, actually. So her birthday was also yesterday as well.
I was gonna say my favorite voice actress's birthday was yesterday.
ah yes, Miss Susan
Ah,
Egan.
yes, a lot of birthdays going around from yesterday.
Beautiful voice. Gotta say, beautiful, beautiful voice.
I love her.
Very talented woman
Yes.
as well.
Very talented. I love her. Like,
Yeah.
she has the best voice ever.
I got,
Just
I got
Surprised she didn't get much roles, and only like recently she's apparently what was it? Rose Quartz in Steven
Rose
Universe?
Quartz in Steven Universe, yeah.
Yeah.
I need to see
Okay.
that.
I got it right. Okay, good. I don't have to be scolded by the Steven Universe fans. Good.
She's Rose Quartz? I did not know that.
I got chocolate crumbs in my bed.
Oh no. That is not true.
Did I
Yes, you
make
did.
it? Did
Yes.
I make it?
Yes.
Alright. Good.
Is it all in your mouth?
Yes.
Did you go
Yes.
deep throat? Did it go down your throat with it?
Yes, it was very unpleasant.
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
The bright side is I don't have to change my name.
Yes.
Good job.
Because if I did, I probably would have to change it to something about as catchy as a Charleston Chew.
How about Gloria Estefan?
Worse. Dick Tingler.
Yes.
Yes.
or maybe a name that rhymes with Pulverine.
Hey, you'll be able to do whatever you want in Australia because like they'll be too busy laughing their butt off.
And that is like to call the joke that everyone other than James will get. Good night, everybody.
I get the joke. I get the
Oh no!
jokes.
Oh no! You didn't see the clip last week.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, you missed. I think you missed that.
Anyways,
We'll explain
yes,
after.
yes,
Don't worry.
Yes, we'll explain
yes,
it to you.
yes. So like I said, John Hughes has been a prolific director, writer, producer for many films, starting like in the late '70s, mostly the '80s, '90s until kind of in the 2000s before he died. We're going to talk about a set of films that he mostly wrote and directed and produced. There's one case where he actually written and produced one, which we'll get into later on. We're going in chronological order by film release date. And funny enough, our first little ride into John Hughes' career was actually 31 years ago in 1985. He had two films that year, The Breakfast Club and Weird Science. And Breakfast Club came out before Weird Science, so I'm going to talk about The Breakfast Club first.
Okay.
The Breakfast Club is the quintessential 80s movie. It is ranked number 1 on Entertainment Weekly's 50 Best High School Movies. Gee, I wonder why. The Breakfast Club is a very simplistic movie, very simplistic story. It's basically five teenagers go to detention on a Saturday morning, and they're all a stereotype, a clique, as you say in high school. Like one's a rebel, one's a princess, one's an outcast, one's a brainy, and one's a jock. They're at detention for something they did, and they have to spend a detention together. And they start talking, bickering. Stuff happens on the Saturday morning, all on one day. And there's some great dialogue going back and forth between each other. Stuff happens. I mean, there's a lot of good chunk of the movie that we can delve into, because there's certain scenes you would love to talk about. You got Judd Nelson, you got Molly Ringwald, you got Michael Anthony Hall, Emilio Estevez, and
Anthony Michael Hall. You got it backwards.
Shoot, I'm sorry, I'm in the moment. Sorry. Yes, thank you for the correction. I
am a walrus.
Thank you.
What the hell?
I was just, I was just watching it before this podcast, so my mind's kind of like, cuckoo. And Allison Sheed, I believe, is in the film. There's a couple other characters in there too, but you know those five major characters, five major actors, because you see them in the iconic poster where they're all posed together, and it's...
Oh, you mean the one that Texas Chainsaw Massacre
Yes.
would spoof?
Yes. I loved that. It was kind of cool how they did that. Yeah, that iconic poster, that was like after the shoot, and they just got all together. Snip! There's the poster. This film is timeless. Like, you can watch this at any generation, and any high schooler can understand it. They can relate to it. Like, last year I actually shown this to a millennial, and that person actually felt for the movie. There's some characters that they related to, and you know, it's that kind of film that makes you think and just like, wow, I relate to that character, or I relate to that situation, because the way John Hughes wrote this film, he wrote it in 2 days. 2 days he wrote it in.
Wow.
Wow, I don't know that.
An impressive
It
feat.
is, and it's when John Hughes writes, his dialogue is very. It's something you can relate to sometimes. Sometimes you can actually, relate to it. Like, you can. The dialogue's like very. It's like the best I've ever seen, heard, and it's like no other person writes like John Hughes. He writes from experience sometimes. Like later on,
No one writes like John Hughes. No one directs like John Hughes.
it's like there's some iconic lines in the film too, like, "Did Barry Manilow raid your wardrobe?" or like, "Eat my shorts." And those are the most iconic lines are from Judd Nelson as John Bender.
Bender. There's a reason they call it Bender's Big Score.
Yes. I mean, Matt Groening did take inspiration for Bender from Judd Nelson's character, and I think Nelson from The Simpsons actually inspired by Judd Nelson's character too.
Ooh, I'm killing dudes in my sleep. Favorite Bender line.
It's okay, because Matt Groening was a fan of Judd Nelson's character Bender. There's a lot of sexual innuendos. Like, there's a point where he has to, I don't know, it's like there's one point where he has to Bender has to hide underneath the table, and he's like right in front of Claire's pussy. And he just goes right in, it's like
Just going for the
for
kill.
it. It's very raw and raunchy. Like, sometimes there's little fingers that pop up because Bender is very rude, and John Nelson's think he's method acting, I believe, because he stayed in character the whole time. So off screen he would taunt Molly Ringwald as John Bender, and that's And John Hughes got a little mad about that. He had that relationship was like a little rocky because of that. Cause it was like, wait, don't do that. She's a good actress. But somebody else was like, hey, he's a good actor. He's just being the character.
He's kind of like that. He's kind of like that Robert Downey Jr. character from Tropic Thunder. You know, he's once they stop filming.
Really be the really get into the
Yeah,
character.
it's kind of like that,
Yeah.
more or less. That's from what I read. The trivia alone on this film is amazing. Like, the library is not a library. It's actually a library that's built into a gymnasium. It's amazing when you look at the set. It's like, wow, that set was actually built, on the spot.
Say, how weird it would have been if they had Nicolas Cage as Bender.
Yeah, there was a lot of casting choices. Like, Nicolas Cage at one point was supposed to be casted, but they couldn't afford him. John Cusack actually auditioned for that role as well. But yeah.
Nicolas Cage was too good for this. Okay.
I mean, he was high building, high build.
He would probably be method acting to the extreme.
Oh.
You'll have a lot more memorable faces. I mean, just imagine Nicolas Cage going head first in that girl's crotch.
Or worse, running down the hallways in the football field. I'm a criminal! I'm a criminal! I'm a criminal! I'm a criminal!
Now I could only imagine like that, like the Bender going towards the crotch and like Nicolas Cage doing that that face that Doug Walker did in one of his Nostalgia Critic reviews, like when he's like that evil dad just there like,
Oh. Yeah.
The soundtrack is also notable. I liked because everybody knows, "Don't you forget about me." It's a one. It's a one-hit wonder actually. Simple Minds, who did the song, never got a hit after that. So all because the Breakfast Club it got popular. It was shot entirely in sequence, in order, front to end.
That's actually quite an accomplishment. You'd be surprised how rare it is in the industry to have everything filmed in chronological order. The only other film that I can think of right off the top of my head that was filmed chronologically was Pulp Fiction.
Oh, American Graffiti was also shot chronologically in E.T.
and technically the only one that I can think of is Alfred Hitchcock's Rope.
Oh well, that was pretty much one take anyway. So
For mispronouncing my name, Sir Burnett, let me just recommend next time you take a shower, be careful not to drop the soap. That is all I am saying. This has been Alfred Hitchcock. Good night, everybody. Thank you very much.
Now I can only imagine if I'm in my shower, I can only hear, "I told you to pick up the soap."
No, even worse, did you hear? Yeah, da 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 da. Good afternoon.
I'm coming for the booty.
Would you like to know what I really did to Janet Leigh in Psycho?
It's that one film, you could show it to anybody and they'll kind of relate to it. I mean, I even asked these guys what stereotype they fit in because it's interesting because it's a high school movie, you kind of relate to these characters. Everybody was different in high school, somebody was a rebel, someone was a geek, a brainy, an outcast, a popular princess, or even like athlete jock. So it's just, and that was in 1985. That was in the 80s. Like, there's more cliques nowadays in high school. They could have updated it.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Well, especially nowadays, how sometimes for people high school can be pretty hard on them like it still stands as something that can be relatable and memorable and stuff. So
Oh yeah.
especially like it's something that people can definitely look up to, considering the hardships that like. And I remember one of my acting teachers told me that like high school is often like the hardest years in people's lives, and it's true. It's true. Like I remember, like even like after I graduate high school, it's been nothing but smooth sailing from there.
Nothing
Yeah.
but smooth sailing.
And then college.
Yeah.
I actually, since I'm in college, and I don't know if I can say high school or college is worse, but I remember my high school years, and I just went, when can I get out? I hated
I
it.
don't know about you, but college had been treating me pretty well since it was mostly art. So, like I've been mostly drawing and sculpting. I'd take that over freaking taking history and French and all that total crap.
Well, to be fair, I'm just gonna say I'm the history major, so I am taking history. Come on,
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, but I
nothing's.
mean, well, you know what I mean, like the
I,
random courses that like you're not like what an individual would not be interested, you know.
well, yeah,
I'm
that
not saying
Are
like
you saying
you know,
individuals are not interested in history?
no, I'm
well,
saying
not.
that each person has a different like course that they're not really interested in.
Yeah, that is true.
Now,
Well, well, my high school years, personally, I felt I guess if I had to categorize some myself in there somewhere, I felt more like I felt more like the dweeby Anthony Michael Hall character in there because um, I actually there was a phase where I legitimately thought that I was, you know, very invertedly arrogant and smarter than other people. And and I was I was socially awkward. So uh no wonder I fit so well in with the drama club.
yeah, fun fact about Anthony Michael Hall. He actually had a growth spurt while doing the film. So pre-production, he was shorter than Judd Nelson, and like during the end of it, he was taller than Judd Nelson.
Mm,
Hmm.
that's,
Interesting.
that
You
is
can
interesting,
at the
actually.
at the start of the movie when he gets dropped off, you can see his mother and sister in the car playing Brian's uh, mother and sister. So his real life family was in the movie. John Hughes actually makes a cameo in the film as well. It's
Hmm.
I can I can provide you with lots of trivia with this film. This film is like one of my favorites. Like it makes me laugh, especially the lunch scene where they're eating lunch, and you see Claire pull out the sushi, and then you see Andrew pulling out this big bag. He's got like three sandwiches, apple, banana, big bag of chips. And then you go over to Allie, the outcast, and she takes her sandwich. It's like a pickle loaf, throws it on to like statue, puts on pixie sticks, and Captain Crunch makes a sandwich out of that.
That sounds
To
pretty
be
good, actually.
actually, I would try that out of pure curiosity.
She added the Captain Crunch because it actually would make a nice crunching sound for the sandwich. It was just like,
Actually, not gonna lie, you made me hungry.
Allie, that's the one somewhat mousy
yeah.
looking gal. There was actually one thing, the only thing, what are we
Hold on,
looking
what does
at?
that say?
What?
Ice Age movie. Oh yeah. No, that's it.
Uh,
Yeah, that's like some kind of TV special. Yeah,
I
I
got.
know.
Just wondering.
Yeah, I know. Don't worry.
Okay.
But why does the Easter Bunny look like roadkill?
Actually, he looks better than other Ice Age characters.
It's like Jack Nicholson if he got run over by a Hummer.
That look no, it looks like no. Actually, it looks like the Easter bunnies of the Easter Bunny from Rise of the Guardians' deranged cousin.
Oh my god. There's little small moments in the film that you will enjoy. Like, and there's some things I actually picked up from watching it actually recently. Like, there's some small little things like there's a heated discussion between Bender and Andrew the jock, and he pulls out the switchblade knife, Bender, and it's actually John Nelson's actual switchblade, and he puts it on the table, boom, right there, and then you see in the background, you see that quiet little mousy alley just, I'll take that. Subtle little details. You look in the background and something happens. It's rewatchable. That's for sure. Every time you watch it, you discover something new for me.
Yeah, the Bender character, I kind of find interesting because near the end of the film they have there's one scene where they I'm not gonna give away too much here, but the big pivotal moment is they all sit down and they all sort of come out to each other and say why they're there to begin with, and they all it's all a story of oh, this happened to me, or this did not happen to me, da 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 da. The Bender character is the only one who doesn't tell the gang how he got there. And the funny thing is, you don't, when you think about it, he doesn't need to tell anybody why he's there.
Well,
I mean, you just sort of assume that from the character that he's put on, he's he I should say he's complex.
Well, it is revealed what he did actually in the film.
What did he do again?
Because I always forget the principal, the lead meanie guy.
Paul
Yeah,
Gleason?
thank you. He's
Richard
yes,
Vernon?
he's like, on Friday you pulled that fire alarm. Oh, you think that was a false alarm, huh? You think that's funny, huh? Huh? Because he pulled the fire alarm, that's how he got in trouble. There's actually a whole list of why they got in trouble, except for, if I can find that, actually. It's interesting to see why they got into detention in the first place. Let's see. Bender pulls a fire alarm. These are spoilers if you've not seen the film, but if you haven't, you should...
I have not seen the movie.
It's alright, it's actually a good movie.
The only thing I've seen are parodies and that A-Team music video where they pay homage but while also ripping off ABBA's Dancing Queen. Oh no, it was a remake. They even have the principal from the movie there,
Yeah,
too.
that's a good little trivia there too. Yeah, he actually plays the same character in that movie. Let's see. So Bender pulls a false fire alarm. Claire ditches class to go shopping. That's why she's in detention.
Hey, that's a good idea. Why didn't I think of that?
I think I actually did that once.
Wait a minute.
I was gonna say he's the princess now. He actually ditched class to go shopping.
I know.
No, actually, yes, I actually did. There was at one point, I think it was in college. I actually skipped one French class to go and buy Pokemon X. That's the class.
You are such a
good.
geek.
Hey, I bail on school.
The next generation. I have to know what it's all about.
Oh no. You gotta catch them all, don't you?
And I hate it, actually.
I played hooky to go see the Phantom Menace.
Well, that wasn't a very good way to.
Oh god.
Whoops.
Says who?
That's debatable.
Let's
Exactly.
see. Brian the Geek, for some strange reason, he had a flare gun and it goes off in his locker.
He was thinking of committing suicide.
I think that's what it was. Yeah, I remember
he was
that
thinking
now.
of committing suicide.
And of course, the jock Andrew actually taped a guy's butt cheeks together in a locker room. That's why he's in.
I'm sorry, that is the
That
funniest
was.
one.
I was like, really? That's a good way to get in trouble. And then Allison, of course, it says that she didn't do anything.
She had nothing. She had nothing
Didn't
better.
have nothing better to do on a Sunday, but however, this claim is most likely untrue, and it might be part of Allison's compulsive lying. But
But
but it's just, you know, but afterwards, after the detention, these group of characters actually, you know, connected, and they don't know what's going to happen on Monday when they go back to school. Is it going to be back to normal, or is it just going to be changed because they connected through one Saturday morning? You know, they say hi in the hallway or anything. It's just interesting to think about that.
One Saturday morning.
The one thing, if I may put my input onto the Breakfast Club, like, because the thing is that this movie is hands down like one of the biggest examples of a character-driven movie where the only thing that it offers are just the characters. It's like literally the whole concept is just you put all these different type of high school characters in one room and just let everything go from there. In many ways, it's very reminiscent to honestly one of my favorite films, 12 Angry Men, where literally you just put 12 guys in one room and you give them the fate of a human being and just see how it goes from there. And like essentially that's how it is in the Breakfast Club. Okay, they weren't given they weren't necessarily given any material, but other than the type of characters that they are, and like from there they just have to roll with it, like and just see how they would interact, how they would connect, like how how each different scenario would go, and definitely one of the best like that's definitely one of the biggest things about the Breakfast Club is that this is a movie that emphasizes on characters and like what happens like when you don't have a story, when you don't have like events going on, when you don't have any massive action scenes, when you don't have like several different sets or different scenarios, you just put them in one room and just see what happens.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's like I said, the script. There's a script that he wrote, but there's a couple of scenes where they did improv a couple of things. But a couple of more fun facts is that there's a part where Allie is drawing a very beautiful picture, mind you. It's like this outcast, like she's drawing so beautiful, and then she adds snow to it. She puts dandruff in it. That's actually Parmesan cheese.
Oh, oh, that's
Um,
Oh, cool. Can you eat it?
you could eat Allie's dandruff. It's only Parmesan cheese.
Yes, it adds a little flavor to the drawing.
I work. I actually work at a restaurant. Would you like? All right. So, would you like some cheese on your pasta?
I work at Pizza Parmigianos.
The
There's one. There was there was one thing that I was trying to get to before about the Allie
Right.
character, and
Go ahead.
she works as this as this sort of uh, as this sort of oddballish outside character uh, all throughout the entire film. But there's one scene at the end of the film where the popular girl played by Molly Ringwald actually puts some
Mhm.
makeup on her,
Makeover. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
gives her a
Uh-huh.
makeover, and I remember watching this and saying, "No, no, you don't do that,"
I mean,
because I sort of feel like when you have that moment in a film where a character has to suddenly glam up and be something else, it sort of defeats the purpose.
it is like that. It's like a cliche more or less because you see that nowadays in teen films where they take a geeky character or outcast and glam it up to a beautiful, woman, kind of thing. You got stuff like what was the example? She's All That did that. I mentioned this in the past, but Marmaduke is actually a very clarified John Hughes film if you look deeper into it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have to say about Breakfast Club because this was one of those movies I saw in like early college, so I didn't see this in high school, but I sort of wish I did. It's one of those movies, like Matt said, very character driven, and that's what I like about it. I like movies that really dive into characters because you get to learn about each of their
Mm-hmm.
personalities. And I think my two favorite characters are actually Allie and Claire, the two females, of course. But I think Allie was probably
Yeah,
my
she
favorite
is.
more
She's
because she's just so
she is.
out
She's
there
so
and
out there,
so
and she doesn't talk until 30 minutes into the film.
yeah, she says
Mm-hmm.
nothing.
She's like,
She's just sitting there just drawing or doodling or
yeah,
whatever.
she's
It's
just that.
great. And then
She's squealing or doing something odd.
I think yeah, my favorite scene with her is definitely the
Yeah,
sandwich scene where she just
that's the
throws the
best
food
scene.
right
It's just
onto.
like she puts the pixie sticks in, puts in her into her Coke, and then she just like puts the. It's fucking hilarious. It's like, what would that taste like? I should get my pixie sticks and Captain Crunch on.
I'm gonna have to try that now as a sandwich, but it's just for me. I think it's a good movie just for anybody who feels like an outcast. It's kind of like saying if you're an outcast, it's okay. Just
Mm-hmm.
you can be friends with anybody. I can be friends with you,
Yeah,
geeks. Thank you. That's the message of the
it,
movie.
it does have that.
Yeah, I think.
Hmm.
Hmm?
You were saying something, James?
I think they reference the sandwich scene. She throws the sandwich on a flagpole or something.
She throws the like the
It's
ham.
it's
I think
a
goes
it's a
to like a,
it's a
it's like
it's like
statue. I
lunch meat. It's like
figured.
it's
On the
lunch meat. She just tosses it in. There's like a statue in the library.
Yeah, there was a
It's like the
statue in the middle
lunch
of the
meat just
library.
sticks to it and all of a sudden falls off.
That was the
Oh
funny.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There was a scene where they paid homage to that in not another teen movie. I think there's a bit where they cut away to a statue with a piece of ham on it
Oh, okay.
that falls off. It's just kind of like
Yeah.
comes out of nowhere, but
Yeah, you'll. Uh,
Yeah, that's for me. That's just one of those movies. It sort of reminded me in a weird way of Daria, the MTV,
oh,
also a teen.
yeah, that makes sense.
That's about high school too. Yeah, only the difference is Daria is more of an introvert, and that's more diving into how she sees high school. I think both what they both do is they both talk about cliques in high school, but they take two different paths with it. And I mean, I love both. Don't get me wrong. I will pick Daria only because of the introvertedness that I keep
Hmm.
to myself. But Breakfast Club to me is a good movie to show anybody, yeah, anybody who's been through high school, and they're like, "Oh, I was this character."
Hmm.
I'll be like, I'll just say I was a little. I think I would probably be a combination of Claire and Allie.
Yeah, because when I show this film to a millennial, you might know who she is, but I'm not gonna say her name. She kind of like I was a little bit of that one, that one, that one, that one. And I was like, okay, that's fine. You can be a mix of all of them because nowadays you can be a little mixture of both because clicks can be a little different, but you could see this character is like, oh, she's definitely that person, or he's definitely that person.
well, I have I have the uniqueness of saying that I can, as far as this group goes, I could probably relate to more than just that. There's the other character that I would relate to, aside from the Anthony Michael Hall character, is actually Paul Gleason's character, the principal, and I only say that because I've worked at schools,
Oh, okay, that does make
and
sense.
So that makes sense.
Yeah, if you have yeah.
and to me, uh, looking back on that character, yes, he's a dick to the kids. I'm not going to deny that. Uh, uh, Specifically Bender,
Hmm.
but you have to. And even I remember sitting back and watching the documentary on this on the DVD you have to remember that this is a character. This is a guy who's spent 20 years dealing with kids from all different backgrounds, and a significant chunk of them are guys like Bender who he feels like are going to give him trouble.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why he is the way that he is. And there were times during when I had to work at school where I had to be not the guy that you see in front of you, not the guy who cracks jokes.
Yeah. It's
You got to be the hard egg.
I
Is that the term, hard egg?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. It's a job that takes a lot out of you.
and sometimes adults can relate to that character too. Like if they've been in their position before, besides the kid characters. That's totally understandable. I would like to say a couple more things, and I'll just shut up about it. First off, they rehearsed it. They rehearsed this as a play. All the actors rehearsed this as a play. So they just read the lines, and they acted, just before they were filming. It was like a play to them. And eventually, down the line, even a school actually asked John Hughes to write it as a play, which honestly sounds like a equal opportunity for any theater geeks out there to do that. Actually, like Breakfast Club, the play would actually be a pretty darn good thing to see.
Breakfast Club, the musical.
I think that might have been
No.
I don't know if I would.
I wouldn't even, because what would they sing about? Because I don't want them to sing it. It'd be like more like a play, more likely.
It would be better.
We are not alone.
Yeah, I'm sure they can do it. I mean, like nowadays they've adapted many things into many movies into musicals.
Right.
Like if Mel Brooks can find a way to turn his comedies into musicals, I'm sure somebody can find a way to make the Breakfast Club a musical.
Maybe. Yeah, I well, yeah, it could vary. Yeah. It could
Worst comes to worst, just make a non-musical play.
I was kind of sort of joking, but yeah.
You
Anyway.
say Zod. Kneel before Zod.
Before Zod.
Deadpool.
Of course.
But yeah, that. What was the other thing I wanted to say? Oh, this was supposed to be like a franchise. John Hughes would have came back to the characters 10 years, later. Like he would do college, the college years, see how they're doing in college, and then come back and see how they're doing as like parents. They would have kids and stuff and so forth, and check them out every so often, which they didn't do because of a couple of prop things. But it would have been interesting to see them, what happened, later in their life, if they became friends or they stayed together or whatever.
Well, in one sense they did with the Brian character. I think John Hughes would revert back to using that archetype over and over again.
Right. And okay, I swear this is the last fucking thing about it, and then we can move on, because this is probably the most analytical portion of The Breakfast Club you ever seen in your life. There is a porn parody of it.
Why would you tell us about this?
Because I actually watched it.
Why would you watch it?
Because once you find out there's a porn parody of a movie, you have to watch it.
No, you don't.
With the animated films that I review, I don't even want to know what kind of porn versions they're of.
There's already one of the
Exactly.
Simpsons.
There's already one of SpongeBob.
This is gonna be my thoughts on this.
I don't often go out in the theaters like not too long ago I saw Norm in the North. I didn't ask myself, is there a porno version of it?
Yeah, it'd be called Norman the South.
It,
That sounds like a weird crossover with Norm and Rare Rabbit.
oh, jeez.
I'm going back to the blank.
Okay.
Pretty good jokes, you boy.
I don't know what I've been told. Eskimo pussy is mighty cold.
Thank freaking God this movie doesn't have any Eskimos. They already have.
Now
Well, they
that
already have
that would've been funny.
stereotypical Japanese.
Now that would have been funny actually if they had Eskimos instead of like the city as the problem.
Yeah, but that would require good writers. To make them. Keep in mind, we're talking about a movie that believes humor is lemmings pissing on a frickin' aquarium for a minute.
I forgot about that.
Okay. One of the things that John Hughes does is actually have key actors come in for movie to movie. Like Molly Ringwald was in for quite a good chunk of films, and even Anthony Michael Hall, which leads into a film that came out later in the year in '85 after The Breakfast Club, which was Weird Science.
I'll take it from here. So, yes, the first time that I ever heard of Weird Science was actually, I hadn't seen it, but I heard of it in middle school. There was one, I think there was one science class where we were asked to watch a science fiction film that emphasizes actual science, and one of the jokes that they said, or one of the other students said, was, "Yeah, let's go watch Weird Science." Just as a sarcastic point, I had to ask, and there's like, it's a movie about two teenage boys who make a girl, and I, for many years, I just sort of popped this. I would be curious about this film, and I'd only really watch it if I was scanning through channels and I saw something on TV Guide. Something would pop up and say, yeah, there's a Weird Science showing. And so I only watched the movie in chunks for years and years and years, until last night, when I successfully watched it from beginning to end. And my goodness, I may have said this sort of thing, but on the show before, but I'm pretty sure that there's a feminist college professor I used to have that would really have something to say about this movie.
It's a product. It's a product that was made before the internet.
Yeah. And that's where I really have to say that this is, yes, I really enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. But it's one of those, as opposed to The Breakfast Club, which is very deep and somewhat dramatic and thought-provoking. This one is leave your brain at the door and try to enjoy it that way, because yeah, these two guys, again, we have Anthony Michael Hall playing a geek character, and this time he's joined by another geek, whose name I didn't quite recognize. But anyway, they get this idea after watching Frankenstein that because they're geeks with computers, they can make the perfect woman. At least in their impression. So they get on that. What's their high-tech equipment? They They have an Apple II computer.
Mm-hmm.
No, if that's
They
all
make
it
a
takes, then
woman
I'm
with an
set.
Apple II computer, a scanner, and resources by hacking into the Pentagon or someplace.
The Pentagon. Oh,
I thought it was the Pentagon. I didn't know.
I have two of those.
Mm-hmm.
I need to go to. I need a visit to the Pentagon.
Yes. And so yes, they do. They make this this uh very too good to be true in the eyes of anyone who flips through beauty magazines woman who's who's just there to bring the bet to try and make their lives as interesting as possible. And that's the movie. That's the takeoff point for the whole movie is that they created a woman. They decided to go ahead and see what works about it, and shenanigans ensue all throughout. It's not it's not a terrifically written piece looking through it, but they do have some standout scenes. Like there's the first night she's there with them, she actually takes them out to a bar, and they they all go clubbing, and Anthony Michael Hall, after a couple of drinks with a table full of a table full of 80s black characters, I'm going to say, um, starts starts acting like a stereotypical 80s black character himself. Starts talking starts talking the jive talk and everything.
Get out of my house, you big dummy.
Yes.
Kind of, no, not that kind of jive. Like the Tasha's kind of jive.
She
Yeah, like
this
lean
one
into
girl,
the
man, I
like that
talked to this girl and she kicked me in the nuts, you know what I'm saying?
Boy, think what the children will look like.
Now shut up and eat your pancakes.
Yeah, you get the idea.
Where am I?
What did you do for that?
I was sleeping the whole time.
Where are you?
Okay.
No, Debbie Antoinette, don't worry. I'm just thinking about it.
Yeah.
Like, she owes me some money, baby.
So that's it is a very fun, very far out movie, and it's kind of like it's kind of interesting to see how Hughes makes this leap from just sort of being a seriously driven character comedy drama to this uh just this Oingo Boingo music video.
Well, okay, so I would like to mention, I did mention this in the past actually, on this show, is that this is based on a story of a comic. Yes.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, yeah. Weird Science was a comic strip at one point.
yeah, it was. I think it was like oh, what comic? Tales from the Crypt. I think there was a story called Made in the Future. And that's what the story's based on. And then of course John Hughes wrote the script in 2 days once again.
Wait, you mean made in the future or French made?
Made in the future.
No, I mean like M-A-D-E or
Made.
M-A-I-D.
Made. As in, you make.
Okay, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
M-A-D-E.
That
Okay.
made. Not. Am I saying. Fuck. Me and my enunciation skills. Uh.
Uh,
And the movie doesn't do a very good job of this, but it does sort of have a theme going for it. Um, they start out without ruining too much. They start out as geeks creating the ideal female, or what they think is the ideal female, and then they find the ideal female, which are
Why do they wear bras on their heads?
two different things altogether. So there is some. Yes, and yes, they do. Apparently, you need to wear bras on your head. You need to wear a bra on your head to use an Apple II computer. It was the thing back then, sort of a trend. Hey, hell, ask Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
He's in
Yeah,
the
he
movie.
is.
yes, that was
Yeah,
awesome.
in the 80s, Robert Downey Jr. was like in every, like, not every, but most of the teen films in the 80s. Like, if you follow his career, man, that's interesting. Before he downhill.
So you need so wait, just to remind me, you need to wear a bra on your head in order to use an Apple II computer.
In order
Do I need
to,
to Do I need to go to my drawer and demonstrate for you, Matt? Because apparently you are confused.
No, because the only thing that I can imagine in my head is that it's the boob guy from Little Nicky, like using an Apple II computer.
it's something like that. Yeah.
Are those boobs on my head? Yeah, big ones.
Now I know I gotta see that movie at some point.
Not seen that
Which
yet.
one, Weird Science or Little Nicky?
Little Nick. Hey, Numbnuts, pick up the phone. Which one?
I love that. I swear, I love Little Nicky.
Oh.
Yeah, they.
It's a
It
guilty
is.
pleasure, I'm
I
not
freaking
gonna
love
lie.
it.
Yeah, the uh, I just sort of say it's that kind of an enjoyable film. But does anybody else want to sort of have a say something about the Weird Science?
I do because I watched it last night for the first time. Like I never heard of this movie. I was like, what the hell are you guys talking about? I was not an 80s person at all, so I didn't know about this movie. But then I heard about it, and I decided, well, what the hell? I might as well see this. And I went, this is like the weirdest movie I ever watched, and I freaking loved it for that.
Oh, you thought it was sweet?
I loved it. Like I enjoyed probably of all the movies besides mine, probably that was my favorite. Besides Breakfast Club, that was my favorite. I loved that. That was great. Yes. That was a fun movie. I think I literally went, okay, this is a fun movie. It's stupid, but it's fun. And then it just went, wee, wee,
That's the 80s for you.
I just want screw it. I'm done. I'm gonna have fun watching this.
I know you probably liked it because Kelly LeBronc, who plays Lisa, described her character as Mary Poppins with breasts.
Mary Poppins. You know, okay, I do have to say this about Lisa, though. I think she has a sexy voice.
Yeah, she does.
I don't know why. I just went, oh my god, I love that voice. I don't know.
What would you little maniacs like to do first?
Yes. Oh man.
Those are the only guys that wear jeans in the shower.
It's
I think I'll take How It Should Have Ended .com's parody on that one a little better.
Oh man.
Brother, is that you? Yeah, what did you think you do? Craft a woman for a bunch of technology?
Oh my god.
That's
I'll have
just
to watch that one.
stupid. I'll send it after.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Oh
have to see
man,
that
it's
one.
It's gonna
it's
pay
it's
off.
it's a it starts off with somewhat interesting promise, and then it gets batshit crazy later on. It's just like, what's going on? At the, I mean, you got Bill Paxton as the older brother of
Mm-hmm.
so you have him in there, and he turns into, doesn't he turn into
A hut
yeah,
near
it
the
looks like
end.
a strange,
He almost like
it's like a
version of Jabba
it
the
look
Hutt.
yeah, like a weird creature. Like if you look up what he turns into, my god, he's ugly and he's like grotesque. He's like a pile of
I'm
shit.
sure he doesn't look Jabba the Hutt.
Well, he was.
I have not seen this movie, so I might as well just have a reaction to it.
Well,
You
he.
need to look up with that. Oh my god, that was the creepiest.
I don't
one.
know. Like I don't know. Like yeah, Morgan, you need to show it. Like
Yeah, you need to.
I'm already looking it up.
I don't even know how would you search that, but it's just
That was hysterical.
Simple
I just.
Google Images.
I'm not saying, I'm just referring to with the type, but
What the fuck?
is he? Morgan, show me.
He's a goddamn nematode.
yes, thank you. That's what he looks like. Thank you, nematode.
Come on.
What the fuck is that?
That's what it was, a nematode.
The
Thank
fridge.
you.
Yep, that's exactly what he
Yes, that's what he turns into, which is strange.
What the?
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
Actually, no, you're wrong. That's the rock
That's the kung fu creature on the Rampage 3.
It's the rock monster's testicle, basically.
Rock biter.
The rock biter's testicle.
They are good, strong balls, don't they?
I've heard of the creature from the back lagoon, but this is ridiculous.
It's just, if you, I mean, you get a nice soundtrack. You get Oingo Boingo playing the title theme, Weird Science, which I mean,
So that's where the budget for the money went to. That's where the budget.
yes. For those creatures.
Wait, John Hughes, you want to do what? You want to make a crazy movie about a hot chick turned into a Frankenstein monster? And you want what? You want what? Alright, well, I'll add another $5 million for it.
That is one big pile of shit.
It's, I mean,
No, look.
yes, yes, yes. It's one of the weirder ones of John Hughes's films, unless there's, I mean, it does have the title Weird Science for a reason. It's just, something you have to see for yourself with your own two eyes. You have to watch it from beginning to end. Like it's like, as we're talking about it, it's like, wait, Bill Paxton turns into that? Wait, they're wearing bras on their head?
I greatly regret not seeing this movie now.
You need to see it because
It actually looks much more fun than my science project.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
It is.
I couldn't even get past the first 10 minutes. First 10 minutes,
Yeah. I remember that too.
you need to see it just because. Yeah, I swear
this-
it's perfect mind fuck towards like half, maybe 3/4 in. It's great. I
Yeah,
love it.
halfway through, you get a surprise cameo from the Road Warrior
Yes.
cast. Too.
Yes. I was gonna say when you mentioned that because Vernon Wells, who plays Lord General, the lead biker in the Road Warrior, reprises his role. Wears the same makeup, mohawk, mesh tank top, and studded leather.
And by the way, Mike, I'm gonna correct you on something. It's based on the EC Comics Weird Science.
Yes,
so
thank you.
You done mess up.
You fool.
I
I'm sorry.
You fool!
I thought I read it.
Mike's
I
always
thought I read it. Where was it? I was reading it in trivia here. Maybe somebody wrote that wrong.
Oh, Joel Silver. That explains why. He was one of the producers for the TV show.
was gonna mention that next. There's a select few there's a select few John Hughes productions that later on they tried as TV shows. One of which we're probably going to talk about at some other point. But I do know we've talked about it in a previous podcast.
We have actually. We mentioned it at least once. You mentioned it actually when I mentioned Ferris Bueller. You said Weird Science because they mentioned that it's like a John Hughes movie.
Oh, speaking of which,
I had the opportunity.
They're trying to do a remake of Weird Science.
It's on hiatus. It's like in developmental hell. There's nothing going with that. Yeah, there was supposed to be a remake for Weird Science, but that.
I actually had the opportunity to finally watch the Weird Science TV show last night. As well.
God. Oh no.
Because the pilot.
Oh no. The pilot. Why is it always the pilot episode?
The pilot episode is right here on the DVD.
Oh, you're an idiot.
As a special feature.
Oh, I
as a special feature?
Special feature. Weird Science TV pilot. It's alive.
Oh, I didn't even bother to look if it was on my DVD. I was just like, screw that. I'm watching the movie. I knew about the TV show, but I was like, screw that.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Don't let the TV show ruin my love for the movie.
It's like Ferris Bueller having a special feature, having the pilot episode of the TV show on that too.
Because we all
This is what we're into the TV show. Here's a cutout of Matthew Broderick. Isn't he nice and lovely?
And how sad is it that Morgan is only reenacting and not exaggerating a single thing that happened?
And sadly, that is the only highlight of the show, the desecration of the TV show onto the film, and this is actually true.
We talked about it in full detail in a previous episode in season 2.
And the sad thing is, that's the only thing I remember. Is the cardboard cutout getting defiled and shredded with a chainsaw.
Yeah,
wasn't there also a young Jennifer Aniston in the show? Oh yeah.
Yes, playing,
of course I remember that.
Which is exactly why I sort of think, by comparison, the Weird Science TV show kind of worked, because it didn't come out and say screw you to the movie. Although there's just one line referring to it, like Mike said. It very loosely tries to adapt the story of the film into a televised format. And what I thought at the end of the day was, maybe it wasn't going to be as good as the movie, but hey, at least it was respectful towards it. Although they do make the crowning achievement of recycling special effects in certain shots from the film. I'm not even kidding there.
Wow.
When they make Lisa in the TV show, the visual effects shots, the cutaways to the computer, the shots of the laundry flying out of the dryer.
Gee, Trumpy, you are magic.
It's all recycled from the film, and it's so obvious because I just watched the movie. I was like, wait a minute.
Yes, there's been quite a handful of John Hughes movies that were adapted to TV, like Ferris Bueller and Weird Science. Actually, Uncle Buck has been adapted twice. The first time was in the 90s, and actually recently ABC did an adaptation of Uncle Buck with a black actor. Mike Alps.
Apparently nobody saw
No,
it.
that only lasted, it was like last year, I believe, it premiered and just dead. So it takes 2 times to kill off Uncle Buck. It's like, really, why adapt it twice? I don't know. Just, but yeah, Weird Science is that one weird film that John Hughes made that you have to see to believe, especially the chaotic, final act. Like, it's the tail end of it is like where it gets crazy. It's just something you have to see to believe. Let's go jump 2 years to 87. If I'm, yeah, 87 is the year that we have a Steve Martin and John Candy vehicle, also known as Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Oh, speaking of Uncle Buck.
See how I did that? Nice segues.
Uh-huh.
Hey, good job. And no,
Alright.
I'm not jumping, but
Okay, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Who's got the Morgan?
What?
Morgan. Really? It's okay. What's going on with you?
Oh, right. Sorry, I was zoning out.
Ooh,
See,
don't
kids,
do
this is what 8 a.m. shifts do to you. No, I'm gonna talk about this one, though very briefly in an upcoming video, but I'll try to go as in-depth as I can here, because this is Royale. Plane, Trains, and Automobiles is a very interesting movie out of all the John Hughes movies, because it's the one I feel that's the most adult. I think it's the one that's most serious, and hands down really down to earth, even though you do get your typical Hughes Looney Tunes comedy, which you'd see in other countless films. And I think it's because it's the only John Hughes movie I can think of that really looks at humanity for what it is. I know that sounds pretty heavy, but trust me on this one. You have Neil Page, played by Steve Martin, who just wants to get home, be with his family for Thanksgiving. And he's a very uptight guy, he's not very social, he's surrounded in tons of chaos. His job is in advertising, and his boss mainly just examines advertisements constantly, to the point even through the holiday where you can't decide which one to choose, which leads to a pretty funny gag, which I won't ruin. And the whole basis of the movie is just Neil trying to get home for Thanksgiving and meets these really strange, really weird characters on his journey. But the biggest obstacle that makes it all the more interesting is when he bumps into this shower curtain ring salesman, played by John Candy, named Dell. And this is where the movie really, really takes off, because these two characters are stuck with each other, they're in this predicament together, and even though they're both the odd couple scenario, they both have one thing in common, and that's their view of family. Dell respects his wife, Neil, again, is doing all this, going through all, to hell and back, just to be with his folks for the holidays, and even though they don't share the same mindset or the same cleanliness, they at least have the same idea of how to spend the holiday and all that sort of such. But what makes the film work even well is that even though these two can't get along and be together, they still at least put their differences aside and try to make it through the worst of it all, whether it's dealing with a rental car that's breaking down constantly in a very humorous sequence, which I won't ruin too much of because I know there's a couple of people that haven't seen it. But I think the best example is during the airplane sequence where Neil complains how he was supposed to get a seat in first class, but the flight attendant, keeps shrugging him off and all that sort of stuff. Like, I'm sorry, mister, you're gonna have to take your seat at some point. You just can't keep playing, otherwise you'll have to get a refund. And Neil's very determined. He's like, I don't want a refund. I want my seat as it was determined in the tickets I got months ago. And he's still denied no matter what, and so he has no choice but to sit, coincidentally, all the way in coach with Dell. And Dell is not the neatest person. He constantly removes his shoes and his socks to let the stink of his feet come up. He's very talkative, very annoying. There's a deleted sequence which I wish they kept in, where they get airline food. And if I had the chance, I would play the clip, but I wasn't prepared, so I'm going to describe it as quick as I can, because it summarizes the whole movie in a nutshell.
Apparently he's a connoisseur.
Yes. There's this whole scene where they're given airline food, and I wish this was in the movie, but thankfully it's on the DVD as a bonus feature, and it's in some TV airings, keyword being some. they're given these different airline dinners. Neil has this very overheated lasagna, and Dell has this special chef salad and all this sort of stuff. And he goes on about how he gets all these, special stuff. He's on airline food, and Neil is looking at his like it's a half-eaten lollipop that was dropped to the ground. And Dell being the connoisseurs are like, oh, that used to be meatloaf, but because of the delays, they had to reheat it. And Neil gets so annoyed they just want to eat anything, so he trades off with the old man with the lasagna and the salad. And Neil protests the brownie. He's like, no, I need the brownie. I gotta have something. And this really rude customer in front of him throws her hair back, Cousin It style, and the hair covers the brownie, and he rejects it. And then Dell's all like, oh no, you don't want the brownie, do you? And takes the brownie out of the hair and takes half it, gives the other half to the old man. And that's really the whole movie in a nutshell. You have the very pessimistic character. Even though he's determined, he's just... all this bad stuff is coming after him. And you have this optimistic character that's, right next to him saying, yeah, the times are bad, but you know what? This is the best what we got, and we have to go through it. The scene in the motel, that's another great sequence, where Neil has a huge breakdown, and he completely chastises Dell for his personality, his slobbish personality, the fact that he can't stop talking nonsense, and then, Dell has an emotional moment. He's like, well, you know what? This is what you're getting. This is me. If you don't like it, suit yourself. And that's a very perfect sequence, because they're not shoving it in. They're not phoning it in. These two know they don't together. They're not peanut butter and jelly. They're both odds. And that's the brilliant thing of a John Hughes movie. They let the characters and the atmosphere define the film. They don't let the situation define the movie. The situation is a conflict. It's an obstacle. When you just have these characters talking to each other, that drives the movie. And that's really the beauty of it. Because when you have these people going for something, or at least a certain obstacle, even if it's just getting through the tension or having a day off, the fact that they interverse with each other, that's what moves the plot. And that's what I find very interesting in a John Hughes movie. The dialogue carries the story, not actions, not, pratfalls or anything, well, until Home Alone, but that's a whole other scenario. But then again, even Home Alone had dialogue scenes, and those worked pretty well. Plane, Trains, and Automobiles, to me, I thought had a lot more heart to it. Because you see these two characters getting picked up by Southern Hicks, or riding buses and trying to entertain all the people on the bus and everything like that.
Meet the Flintstones.
Well, no, it's so interesting to see how they interact with society and everything. You see these two different sides of life. James, I think I'll let you take this one, because I think you want to talk about this certain scene. Because I think I'll let you take the limelight for once. That famous scene with the rental car. I'll let you take this one.
One of the greatest rants in movie history, which I always like to bring up at parties whenever this movie is mentioned, or what have you. But I do have a build up to this. Over 10 years ago,
Keep talking, just give me a second.
my story is this: how this film is still amazingly relevant. Over 10 years ago, I took a trip with my grandparents to Disney World. It was great. We had fun time. But one of the stories that we had that happened there was we actually did have to go rent a car, and so we're going to we picked up our paperwork. We went to the car, and it was the wrong car. Or it was the wrong kind of car. And so my grandfather, without a word, turns around, doesn't even say anything to us as to what he's about to do. He goes back to the head office of the rental place. And we're still right there in the parking lot. And I'm just turned over to my grandmother and like, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? And I'm just like, this suddenly reminds me of that movie. You ever see that movie, Grandma? Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, where Steve Martin goes to get a rental car that's not there, and then he goes back to the rental car place and he just chews the lady out at the rental car place, and she's got a smile on her face. I did the whole routine for her right there. It's so memorable. Steve Martin is looking at her just like, we can start helping me by wiping that fucking smile off your fucking rosy cheeks. And you can give me a fucking automobile, a fucking Buick, a fucking Honda. I don't fucking care. 4 fucking wheels and a seat.
I don't care for your attitude, young sir.
And I don't care for the way that your company gave me a pair of fucking keys to a fucking car that wasn't even fucking there. And I don't care about how I had to walk across the fucking highway and across a fucking runway to get back here to see you smile at my fucking face. I want a fucking car right fucking now.
Do you have your papers?
I threw them away.
Oh no.
Oh no, what?
You're fucked.
Oh.
And now for your amusement, here's audio from the TV edit.
Oh boy.
Okay, apparently the audio is not that loud. So instead, here's the real thing.
No, the cranberry. Gobble, gobble. Welcome to Marathon. May I help you?
Yes.
How may I help you?
You can start by wiping that fucking dumbass smile off your rosy fucking cheeks. Then you can give me a fucking automobile, a fucking Datsun, a fucking Toyota, a fucking Mustang, a fucking Buick, 4 fucking wheels and a seat.
I really don't care for the way you're speaking to me.
And I really don't care for the way your company left me in the middle of fucking nowhere with fucking keys to a fucking car that isn't fucking there. And I really didn't care to fucking walk down a fucking highway and across a fucking runway to get back here to have you smile at my fucking face. I want a fucking car right fucking now.
Yeah, I see your rental agreement.
I threw it away.
Oh, boy.
Oh boy, what?
You're fucked.
Yes.
Is my video back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Video's back.
Oh,
But I think what makes that movie work beautifully is the ending. And again, I don't want to ruin it, but at the very, very tail end, you see these two characters finally have an understanding of each other, even if they're both on different terms, over this one simple element. And again, that simple element is family, and how they're in different spots with it, leading to Steve Martin out of the kindness of his heart to spend, to have Dell give them the opportunity to have Thanksgiving with their folks. And I'm not going to say why, I'm not going to give the reason of the motive, it's really worth seeing. and the way they do it is so beautifully. Steve Martin is on a subway with the help of Dell. He's alone. He's thinking about everything that's going to happen when he goes and meets with gets back with his wife and his kids, and then the memories of Dell come back to mind, all the things he said, and that's when it all clicks together. And he goes back to meet him up, and Dell has this big confession, and that's the big motive for the super mega happy ending. It's a little sappy, but I think it works beautifully because it's like, yeah, you really do want to see these two characters get like some kind of a heartwarming feel out of this, especially after the journey they partake. And I think,
there's sort of a thick and thin relationship here.
And after all the cliched stuff that happened earlier with the money being stolen from their wallets, the big speech at the end when one of them blows up, that makes it more interesting. You see the two sort of carry off because you see sort of their tension sort of just deeter throughout, even during the car scene. Where the thing is in flames.
Yes.
You stole my wallet. No, I didn't. I put your credit card back in your wallet. Where? Oh yeah, I don't want to know that bit.
Let's just say, be glad that they didn't have Norm Macdonald there tripping balls.
And then we burn.
What you talking about, Satan?
We're still gonna see that movie in the future, like next month. But no, my favorite John Hughes movie is that one. Just for those reasons. The comedy is perfect. The touches of humanity are just great. These characters are very realistic. These are ones I connect to so easily. Even though I don't want the obnoxious side of Tell. But then again, there is that part of me that does worry in real life if I am too talkative, or if I am too slobbish. So I'm sort of in between the two, kind of a yin-yang sort of person. But for what it is, that's my favorite John Hughes movie of all time. And, yeah, at least Mike saw it.
I was good.
I actually did see it.
I'll give you pointers for that, Mike. You saw it with me.
Yes.
Actually,
Yes, I did. I was very appreciated and glad I actually watched it with Morgan, because I haven't seen it until I saw it with Morgan, and it's actually a great movie. Like Morgan says, it's actually really good. Like I said, the writing when it comes to John Hughes is like he knows how to write. Like actually, this film actually inspired was actually based on a similar trip that he had. You know, he wrote that on paper. It's like, this might be a good movie to make. So it was inspired by true life for him. So
It was also sort of remade years later, as a little film called Due Date, starring Robert Downey Jr.
Was that also with Zach Galifianakis?
yeah.
I didn't see
Yes.
it, and I don't think I want to.
It's not as good, but I will say it's worth the watch.
I never thought
It's the same exact
I
formula.
never thought about that until now. Oh my god, James. Okay.
Do they also do the mess around bit where one of them's in the car just like lip syncing to a song or something?
No.
No, but they do have Zach Galifianakis. His father is ashes in a coffee can, later getting drunk.
Oh god, I remember that. Oh no. God. It's meh.
Oh look, Ovaltine.
But this is John Hughes's highest rated film on Rotten Tomatoes. It's actually at 94%.
Yeah, see, my absence on the 100% episode was definitely worth it.
Which never really happened, so long story short, never happened.
I actually did get to see the film myself today. I have to,
Wait. You actually saw Plane, Trains, and Automobiles today?
yeah, I watched it while.
Okay.
Yeah, I did see it. I have to admit, I wasn't crazy about this one. No, see, for me, I really have started to notice I don't like buddy comedies. I don't get into them very well. And I found this not boring, but tolerable. And I don't like Steve Martin very much either. I think that's I'm sorry, Steve Martin is not one of those actors I really liked. And so for me, the highlight for me was that's the rental car scene. That was a highlight. And John Candy's character. But that was it. I did not like Steve Martin's character at all. I thought he was unlikable to the point of I almost wanted to strangle him. I just like no, no. I just it just drove me nuts and I was like, I'm done. Like literally towards the end, if it wasn't for that ending about Dell, the movie would have lost. I'm not gonna reveal it, but I was like, no, this movie lost me till the end. So that's it.
It-
I liked yeah. Yeah,
it's respectable, and not everyone's not gonna like a certain movie. Everybody has their own particular taste. That's why I have this podcast. Everybody's got different tastes in films, so it's a hit and miss sometimes with certain films. That's understandable. What was I gonna say about it? So I was watching it with Morgan, and it was a nice experience. I really missed those times. The things I noticed was like the comedy's there. The writing, like I said, is perfect. You know, he knows how to write, and for me, the music, the soundtrack alone was like weird for me listening to it. Because the music,
it's a very wonky soundtrack.
the soundtrack just took me out a couple of times. I was like, wait, why'd you put that song there? It's like that's not a song, whatever. And I actually liked it because of the Kevin Bacon cameo at the beginning.
Yes, because he was doing She's Having a Baby at the
Yeah,
same time.
same year as She's Having a Baby. So it's like, oh, there's Kevin Bacon. 6 degrees of separation of Kevin Bacon. It's a good film. So if you want a film to watch on Thanksgiving, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is the film to go to. That's definitely what I want to do. Start doing this Thanksgiving and start watching that.
And if you don't like buddy comedies, go wait a month and watch Zootopia.
That'll work for me because I'm like, yeah, that was the only thing I didn't like. To me, the buddy comedy feels like a formula that just doesn't work, or it's too predictable, at least in my mind. I've only seen like a select couple of buddy comedies that I liked. That's it.
And if you don't like buddy comedies at all, I triple dog dare you to try and scoff a giant bar of Charleston Chew down your throat to the flight of the bumblebee while your toes are dipped in a bucket of piranhas.
I would only do it.
Meanwhile, Gonzo the Great is watching this going, challenge accepted.
Well, he already proved he's unkillable. He jumped off of the roof of a house and landed on concrete.
Dang. What am I missing on the Muppets?
Camilla's back.
Oh, well, I'm not missing much.
It has a cliffhanger.
Yeah. I want to see where that goes.
I
really disappointed with the episode afterwards. It's like, oh, they didn't continue with it. It's like,
It's like, I'm glad Denise is gone, but come on.
There's actually one person in the YouTube comments of the Muppet Vlogs that like he feels like pretty mad that I keep harping on Denise. It's like, and he actually commented. It's like it's like, you'll be sorry if Kermit and Denise get back together. It's like,
I already got one person saying, yeah, you should stop those vlogs. They're a waste of time anyway, Morgan. I'm just sitting there.
I get a few of those as well, yeah, but like I get a little pissy as well.
I'm just sitting there going, yeah, maybe I should continue editing that 90th episode.
Yeah.
3 hours of footage.
Yeah, I don't care what people think. I love the Muppets. I'm gonna keep on doing the Muppet vlog.
From Thanksgiving, let's go to another holiday classic from John Hughes, which he only written and produced, which was National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Yes, and before that I get into it, I just want to have a quick mention regarding John Hughes' writing works. If we are going to make a tribute about John Hughes, then we must absolutely talk about his written works, considering that he is probably more well known as a writer than he probably is a director and a producer and stuff like that. Considering he has done many works that would go on to be some of the most popular, um, like popular icons in cinema, including the Vacation series, and also, yes,
I was about to ask, did you read the short that this movie was based off of?
what?
Yeah,
I never knew about that.
not to harp on too much there. You worked for National Lampoon magazine, and you wrote 2 short stories, Vacation 58, and I think it's either Christmas Vacation 59 or Vacation 59. A lot of the material from the second one, Christmas Vacation 59, turned into National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. The only thing they nixed out was a stereotypical Chinese character. I'll send it to you later. It's worth it.
Okay, but what I'm trying to say is that John Hughes is definitely more popular as a writer, considering he has written, but not directed, like the Vacation series, the Home Alone series. Even like in the '90s, he went all over the place, doing adaptations with Dennis the Menace, Miracle on 34th Street, Flubber, and we've already discussed about 101 Dalmatians. Now, some of you might, and considering that we are recording this in February, some of you might be wondering, why the fridge am I going to talk about Christmas Vacation, a Christmas movie? Am I a little too late or way too freaking early for this? Well, here's my explanation. There's actually something very interesting about Christmas Vacation. When you think about it, how many people are there that know, like, they would watch Christmas Vacation annually? They would use this as a tradition. Yet it's pretty surprising how much of those people might not even have known about National Lampoon's Vacation or European Vacation. Because in many ways, some could even argue that Christmas Vacation could be John Hughes's most famous written work in a way, considering how many times it has been viewed and stuff like that, and how the Griswold, like, this is hands down the most popular Griswold like story, the most popular vacation movie. And it's honestly very fascinating. Like, it has definitely hit many of the marks of how, like, it represents like all the dumb, like the downsides and the annoying bits of how it is to spend your time with family, and also like some of the good moments to cherish as well. But
I'm never annoyed with my family.
well, I guess I guess some of the pet, I guess like it captures some of the pet peeves, I believe. But I just find it somehow, it's kind of interesting how a Christmas movie can end up being the embodiment of, like, with all the like, how this movie ended up becoming like the embodiment of how people remember the vacation movies. How, like, we like it's, like, it's one of the very few things that I can say about it. It's just like everybody knows Christmas Vacation, but I highly doubt that like those people would know about National Lampoon's Vacation or European Vacation. Like, okay, people, like, we can all make a reference about like the Christmas tree lighting up on fire or the squirrel bit, but like you're gonna leave a lot of people confused when you mention like Wally World and stuff like that. And I know a lot of people, like, maybe they're gonna mention like, oh well, technically some people will know because of the recent 2015 remake, but even at that, like, the movie ended up sucking, and like at this point, like, everybody pretty much forgot about it. So that's pretty much the reason why I wanted to bring up Christmas Vacation, is how ridiculously popular it is because of Christmas, and yet it also overshadows the fame of the previous vacation movies.
I guess so, in a sense. I mean, maybe it's been ages since I've seen this movie, but I will say that this this is probably the first of the vacation films that I've seen. I mean, I've only seen Vacation, Christmas Vacation, and Vegas Vacation. Um, but yeah, you're right. There are just some things you don't forget, like the cat electrocution that happens every Christmas, right?
You know, that the good old tradition of like just shocking your cat.
Yeah.
What's that smell? Fried pussycat.
Uh, but but yeah, how does how is it that something like this becomes a holiday classic? I think well, maybe one, easy enough, attach it to the holiday. Two, try to get a formula that works. And apparently a disastrous holiday scenario type formula worked before with Vacation. So, yes, Mr. Mixtape.
None of the movie actually occurs on Christmas. The final scene is actually late Christmas Eve.
Okay.
Well, I
It's
mean, it's
still
all.
centered around the holiday.
Right, it is. I'm just being technical.
I mean, it's centered around the time that it's good to watch Christmas Vacation.
Yes. Otherwise.
And my fault, the short story was called Christmas 59. It was published in the December 1980 issue of National Lampoon
We were
magazine.
close, but yeah, I didn't want to pop that up.
To quote John Hughes, the studio came to me and begged for another one, and I only agreed because I had a good story to base it on. But those movies have become little more than Chevy Chase vehicles.
I'm gonna
Good example, the 2015 version.
I'm gonna be honest. I've seen
I did not see that one, and I have no plans to.
all of them except for Christmas Vacation. I've seen bits of it, but never seen Christmas Vacation from beginning to end yet.
But the squirrel!
What?
I've never seen
I know, it's weird. Like, I've seen the original, I've seen European, I have seen Vegas, and I've seen the recent one, actually.
Wait. Say European again.
European?
That's what you do when you're... Mike, that's what you do when you're in the bathroom.
I was about to ask on what.
Yeah, I never saw Christmas Vacation either, so I think I've only seen one of the Vacation movies, and that's because Morgan showed it to me.
Yeah, we had that screen.
Yeah,
we screened it, yeah.
You did. Yeah.
Wait,
The first one. The original.
I think it was the first one.
Was it?
The first one, they go to Wally World.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the first one.
Okay,
Yeah,
definitely.
we watched that together, I remember that.
Yeah. And then you got European Vacation, where they always screw with Eric Idle.
Poor soul.
And I just want to have a quick mention, because imagine, because I mentioned this as a really weird scenario, here's a good example to make it more clear. Imagine the Muppets. Nowadays, we know the Muppets and stuff like that, but imagine if nowadays people only know the Muppets through Muppets Christmas Carol. And the other stuff we don't really know much. Rather it be the TV show and the movies and stuff like that. So just imagine that a little bit. That's what the Vacation series is going through.
Mm-hmm. It's going through a... Is that our timer?
No, keep going. Somebody sent me a text.
Rooney ate it.
That's my text tone.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, because we haven't
talked
even
about
got...
my movie.
Yes.
Nobody wanted it.
Aww.
My movie. Damn you. Keep going.
Oh, what is she here for?
Well, besides being cute,
Well, she's here to hate plane, trains, and automobiles.
I didn't hate it, but okay. I didn't hate it. I just thought it was the weakest one.
If you want to see weak, go watch Home Alone 3. Bing!
Oh,
Done!
oh, I've seen it. I've seen it. Don't you start. I've seen it. It sucks.
Bolts of lightning come from his ass.
Oh, I just realized. Yeah, I didn't know that.
What?
No, I just discovered John Hughes wrote Just Visiting. Okay, I remember
I was
that.
about to bring that one up too.
There's a lot of stuff he wrote, and kind of.
Yeah, that's actually the last thing he legit wrote.
I thought it was Drillbit Taylor was the last
Yeah,
thing
it
he
was Drillbit Taylor, which was, I think it was based on a story character that he had, so that was technically the last one. But, yeah.
As Edmund Dates? Is that like an alias, or? Well, I guess with Drillbit Taylor, I guess I can understand why he would want to put that as an alias.
That was, yeah, that was before he died too, so.
Oh, he also did Made in
Mm-hmm.
Manhattan.
Oh, I think it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yes, I know that one. I know that one.
it looks like, yeah, he might actually have an alias, because I'm checking his IMDb, because, like, I'm seeing, like, Made in Manhattan story as Edmund Dantes.
Yes. Oh my god, I love that movie.
You know, there's a lot of unproduced projects he did, and there's two which in this list I'd really love to see.
Which ones?
Which ones?
The live-action Peanuts movie, and the parody, and I'm not kidding here, this is what it's titled as, Jaws 3 People Zero.
Sounds interesting.
Wait.
Okay, that's not.
Yeah, I noticed that with the live action Peanuts movie. It was like Warner Brothers acquired the rights to me.
The live action
Yeah.
movie?
Peanuts. Peanuts? Peanuts?
Actually, that would have been an interesting movie.
Hey, there's your porn proof there, the penis movie.
Your porno poo? What?
That's a new running gag now. Because I say peanuts and it sounds like penis.
It does sound like penis.
Don't you forget about anus.
And then you got Lucy, the screamer.
Pigpen. That is all.
Yep.
Oh man, Pigpen's so dirty. Oh, he's so dirty.
Oh, my sweet baboon.
There's a reason Linus is under her blanket. It's for protection.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's just...
Snoopy's a pimp. He gets a lot of birds.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
When it comes to the
I thought it would be some I thought it would be some kind of symbolism for cock and balls.
when it comes to writing, is Christmas Vacation one of his best when it comes to his films? What is memorable about the writing in Christmas Vacation?
What is memorable? Thought of that. Well, I would say is, you know, like, I would say, I think it's going through the hardships, like keeping, like, I think it's like, of course you get the signature, shenanigans that, John Hughes would go down into each bit, like that one, like, of course, like like the little bits here and there are definitely strong, but I think some of the most memorable part is probably Clark's like I would probably say Clark's attitude. Like even though going through all the crap, rather it be like built, you know, like setting up all the lights, or like you know bringing in the family into the house and stuff like that. Like it's clear that he is going through tough times and stuff like that, but like he's still keeping his chin up. Like he's still trying to like get that, you know, spirit of Christmas going. Like he's trying, you know, make sure like everything would be, you know, happy and merry. Like he wants to keep it in the best mood possible for everybody until the very end, when like he got the postcard for, or I think
Jelly of the month.
Yeah, the Jelly of the Month Club thing. and suddenly he finally snapped. And it wasn't until like that, like without spoiling anything, that whole scenario, like finally, like the Christmas miracle finally occurred through the craziest of scenarios. Well, maybe not necessarily the true meaning of Christmas, but just like a sudden happy ending. It's probably the best way to put it. Nothing cheesy. It's just like the best way to put it is very sporadic. But yeah, it feels like it's going through the heart. Like it's going through like it's having the spirit like going through tough times, but be driven to continue through the spirit of Christmas. Did I do good? Is that right?
You did good, Linus. You did good.
Good.
That's what it's all about.
And I guess if that's all we have to say about that one.
By the way, I'm trying to remember the actress's name who played the grandmother.
Which one? The delusional one? Or...
Yes. I heard that she was like an actress, some sort of voice actress.
Betty Boop?
Voice actress.
Talk about Betty Boop?
Audrey.
Yes.
No.
Yeah, that was her last role.
Say Grace.
Where's Roberts? Could that be right?
No, it's
Grace passed away years ago.
Oh, say does that star.
Yep. May Questel. She was Betty Boop in Olive Oil.
Yep. Okay.
So that was her final role.
I pledge allegiance to the flag.
And the rocket's red glare.
Oh yeah, but then you got the real But if you want the real delusional one, don't forget we got Danny Quaid.
Matt, I just want to say I feel really bad. I think Randy Quaid is a really funny actor.
Nah, I know.
I feel bad for the guy. I really do.
Yeah, let's not mention.
Yeah, I think he's.
Let's not mention the
I
sequel.
think he's leaving. I think he's leaving my neck of the woods, anyways.
Oh yeah.
All he just did was just ransack a hotel. That's all. He didn't do any damage. He didn't kill anyone. He didn't pull an Alan Moore and drink the blood of a baby giraffe.
Have you seen recent videos with Randy Quaid? He's still as crazy as he used to be.
Alright, so we
feel bad for the guy.
We shall end things off with one last film. Actually, it's John Hughes' last directed film from '91, which is Curly Sue.
Yep, my movie. Well, the funny thing is, first I have to say there's nothing more appropriate than a cute little girl talking about a movie with a cute little girl. I had to.
You're like twins. Hold that up again. Yeah. Aww.
They're there. Hey, it's cute. Morgan. He looks so confused. Matt looks like a freak as always.
What? I'm just being Curly Sue.
There, the first finger of the night, Matt.
Oh, there it is.
But see, the funny thing is with John Hughes, I grew up with this one actually. Of all the John Hughes movies, like I didn't grow up with a lot of the '80s ones. The only ones I grew up with, besides Home Alone, was this one, and I just thought it was interesting. This was his last movie, and it's funny too. Fun fact: there's one scene in the movie. It's not even a spoiler. It's just so random in the movie. There's this one scene where there's this guy, this random jeweler guy that's trying to sell a watch, and this watch salesman only was gonna give him like $15, and the guy was so pissed, and he just went, "You jerk," and left. And then I was like, wait a minute, that guy sounds familiar. I wonder why. I realized, oh God, it's the same actor that played the gangster guy in the Home Alone movies. You know, the fictional gangster.
Which one? Joe Pesci?
Jim Belushi.
I'm
Oh,
talking about Ralph Moody. You know the guy that plays that fictional
Merry
dead.
Christmas, you
You know
filthy
the
animal.
guy that's you filthy animal.
oh, him.
Him, yeah, he's in this
Angels
movie.
with filthy souls.
Yeah, that I always remembered it's a parody gangster movie, but yeah, that was a fun fact. I was like, wait a minute, I recognize him. So I had to look up his name. Yeah, he had one scene in the movie. That is it, but it is funny just because of that alone. But this movie is like it really is a romantic comedy. It's a romantic comedy with a little girl. And this is actually John Hughes's probably more negative reviewed movies, which I think is kind of a shame. It's not like the best written or anything because well, I will say it's not the best written, but I think it's just a cute movie. There's a cute adorable little girl who like the movie is pretty much about a father and a daughter, and the daughter and the father and daughter are living out in the streets. They're going from place to place, and they're trying to live off life, just living in the streets since they have nowhere else to go. Well, then they pull this scheme where they hit this rich woman's car, or where he gets hit by a car so they can get food. Well, what they didn't realize that was later they would meet her again, only she really did hit him with a car. Like he legitimately was like in the way and he got hit by a car again, so she lets them in to her house and they stay with her. And and then there's this um obnoxious boyfriend that's a jackass. Duh. Um
Mm-hmm.
that's always one of the main conflicts of the movie. And and that's really it. And the movie pretty much goes into towards the end like whether whether the three are going to stay together, the rich lady that they live with, the daughter, and the father. And I yeah, it's a simple story, but I think the best thing for me, at least for is mainly the characters. I love Curly Sue. She's the cutest little girl. I swear, she's adorable, and she just has a bit of a personality to her because she's
Es-
been living on the streets. Besides, Matt, you're a freak. What?
Especially with her baseball bat. She's even cuter with one of those.
Oh yeah, that is true. She does. There's actually a scene in the movie where she hits like she's supposed to have the father gets hit in the head with like a baseball bat because he wants it to look like that the rich lady hit her with a car and hit his head. So so the one line in the movie is like, "If you love me, hit me as hard as you can. That's how I know you'll love me." And what she did, she just whacks him with the baseball bat and he hits the garbage can. Right to the garbage can. It was and I was like, "Oh, hard that's hard abuse, but it's for love."
Yeah.
Is that what love does?
Not
Um,
a, I,
no.
that's well. That's sort of how it starts.
It's
It
how it
starts out
starts.
with their relationship, but as the movie progresses, things take a bit of a different turn.
Yeah,
Jim Belushi is sort of is sort of the this strangely iron butt monkey of the film. You know, he's just like this guy that
yes. He's kind of keep going, keep going.
he. I only saw this movie once, maybe twice when I was a kid, and I just remembered Belushi getting his ass handed to him by this little girl.
That is true. It's just the one thing that's interesting just about his character is like he is a father. He's trying to take care of his daughter, and even though there's like one scene and there's like part of the film's kind of devoted on whether the daughter should be living out in the streets or not, and because she can't read, she can only spell big words because her father told her how to spell them, but she couldn't spell words like cat. And I think it was just interesting because yeah, you don't know like the father's backstory, and it's not till like maybe middle of the movie where they reveal what happened to the wife. Not gonna reveal that. Um, but it was, but for me, I think it's it's like I said, it's a simple story and it's a romantic comedy, and you kind of know it. So if you're not really into romantic comedies, especially with little girls, so I would say it's not a Matt movie, but it's, um, I for me, I just think it's a fun film to watch, just because it's cute, it's charming, and I'm sort of sad that it got as panned as it did. So maybe that's just me though.
Yeah, it's probably just you because it's the lowest rated film on Rotten Tomatoes for John Hughes, which is at 14%. So
Yeah, it's 14%
yeah,
Rotten
it's
Tomatoes.
I'm I may have to revisit this at some point, uh, because I'd like to see for myself if if personally I feel like the film holds up and not just the mean spirited aspects of it.
mhm.
But what I the other reason why I remember this film is I may have mentioned before on this podcast when I was a kid, I was a I was an avid subscriber to Disney Adventures, and the in one particular in one particular issue where they were pumping up the Dennis the Menace movie,
Mhm.
ironically another John Hughes
Mhm.
production. Um, they had a list of, I think it was what, the top 20 menaces, and believe it or not, Curly Sue was on there.
You know, just sort of
But
just
she
based on
was
her
rounding out the very bottom of the list.
well, she's a cute little girl and she has a bit of a personality to her. Like, I mean, yeah, the most memorable scene has to be where she hits James, the Jim Belushi character in the head. Bill. His name is Bill. I'm
Hmm.
sorry, that was cracking me up. Um, that probably is one of the most memorable scenes. At least I always remember it. Um, and I don't know, it's just, and I won't remember every character's name, which it's formulaic. I know this movie is formulaic because I've seen enough 90s romantic comedies to know that for a fact.
Hmm.
But that maybe that's why it works for me because I like romantic comedies. I like cheesy. I like cute. And I'm a hopeless romantic, so I love that stuff. I eat that stuff up like candy. So it that's why I love it. That's what it is. It is what it is, and if you are not a fan of those type of movies, you don't go see it. Like it's just what it is, and I think it's great. I think it's great for me, but maybe that's because the only woman here.
You know, the one thing that I'll mention about this is that I've never heard of Curly Sue until this podcast.
Either have I.
Yeah, but there is one little interesting tidbit that I somehow discovered that it's pretty weird, honestly. This is apparently the debut of freaking
Steve
Steve
Carell.
Mhm.
Carell.
Yes, I noticed that in the credits. I said, "Wait, he's in this
Mhm.
movie?"
Just
Yeah, and this is his first ever role, like
yep.
ever.
Yeah, and
Like
it's
when you go on IMDb, the first thing is listed is actually Curly Sue, and he's if you're curious, he's playing a character called Tessio.
I do I did realize that. I don't remember that character very. Wait, let me look. I might remember that character. It probably he was very vague. I'm not sure if that was the jackass boyfriend or not. Let me double check. Um, I'm
If
gonna
that were
double.
the case, that would be pretty ironic, actually, because I did remember seeing a movie with Steve Carell playing a jackass boyfriend. Not even a funny one, just like a dick of a boyfriend.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. Oh, that's a different actor. It's, I don't remember which. I'm gonna have to re-see the
You
movie
might have to
again just to
rewatch
find
it
Steve
just to
Carell.
see the Steve Carell
Just to
debut.
find Steve Carell. I didn't know that, so that is kind of funny. Like, um, yeah, probably the only actors, honestly, that I knew were okay, Steve Carell, and I knew who Jim Belushi was, and knew who Allison Porter was, but that was it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't.
And I might have to rewatch this movie again just to see how it ties over to Robert Downey Jr.
What?
Running gag.
Oh,
Yeah. Because Robert Downey Jr. is almost in everything. I would like to mention a little tidbit I read about this movie is that there was a feud or argument between John Hughes and Jim Belushi on set, so they had to shut down production for a little bit since Jim Belushi wouldn't come to set. So they somehow worked it out to finish this film. So
Well, yeah, I can see. Yeah, like maybe he thought it was too formulaic. I just thought it was interesting too. I didn't know that. I thought this was true, but I had to double check. I was like, oh, that's John Belushi's brother. that was a mind blowing fact for me. I was like, oh wow, I'm an idiot. I didn't make that connection. I was like, yeah, I'm sad. I didn't realize that till like a few minutes ago. So, I don't know. It's just funny. Yeah. Oh man.
It's all good.
Yeah, it's all good for me.
I don't have too much else to say other than cute little girl, romantic comedy. I freaking love it. The end.
Steve Carell.
And Steve Carell. That works. Now
Fair
I'm definitely rewatching the movie now.
it's definitely worth.
Good. It'll give you and James something to do.
Yeah.
Yay!
Date night.
Yay, we can do that. It's okay, Matt. You can throw up in a garbage can after the podcast.
You don't have to watch, Matt.
Well, I don't. Well, I know, but like I need something in my stomach if I need to throw up.
How about a Charleston Chew?
Yeah, sure. Actually.
How about Robert Downey Jr.?
You're gonna start a new running gag with us.
No. I don't want Robert Downey Jr. Give me
That's
Scarlett
right,
Johansson and we'll make it a deal.
Besides, that thing's probably made of titanium by now.
Oh man.
The face says it all.
Dear Mr. Hughes, we accept the fact we had to sacrifice a whole Friday night just to talk about your movies and what makes you great as a writer, director, and producer.
Not tour.
You are. But you're crazy to make us think about what is the greatest John Hughes film out there you made. All your films have great things to talk about, or for great things to watch and think about when it comes to writing characters, story, and whatever. In simple terms, you're the greatest, John Hughes. You will always be remembered for your iconic films. And what we found out about all of us is that some of us like planes, trains, and automobiles. But The Breakfast Club is a classic. Curly Sue is an underrated gem. Christmas Vacation is a holiday staple. And Weird Science is a crazy, batshit crazy movie all about creating a female out of nothing.
And a feces monster.
A rock biter testicle.
So, do you understand, John Hughes? Sincerely yours, Cinema Royale.
That was beautiful.
And that
Wasn't that the speech that
I was trying to
Macaulay Culkin gave?
I was trying to parody what they say at the end of the movie at Breakfast Club.
Oh no, that was perfect.
Oh, you forgot to add, P.S. Where's the 2-hour and 30-minute extended version of The Breakfast Club?
Yes, I would like to see that shit.
It exists!
Yeah.
I want to see that.
Yes.
I want to see
Thank
that.
you for this. As you can probably not. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna do it right now. I'm not even gonna question it. I'm just gonna do it because I stopped the timer a long fucking time ago. Because I knew this was gonna run long, but here's what the timer would have been.
I said it before and I'll say it again. Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Yes, that concludes. This has been Cinema Royale. This has been actually a great long episode just to dedicate 70 episodes of this podcast, Morgan's 30th appearance on the podcast, and overall 3 years of doing this podcast. 3 constant years of doing this podcast. No breaks, no hiatus, some skippable episodes, some stuff like that, but we'll continue to do this podcast for 3 more years even in 2019. We're going to celebrate this. We're going to keep going as long as we can, because this is a podcast dedicated to movie fans and movie lovers everywhere. Thanks for...
And still bitching about it.
Right on.
Hey, and this is my first temporary co-host episode too, so there you go. But Morgan's more important.
Kiddo, you did a good job.
Yay. I feel good.
Great trick, kid. That was 1 in a million.
Question of the day.
No, you blended perfectly well, so.
I can take it.
Question of the day is, what is your favorite John Hughes movie? Please leave a comment below. If you're watching this, listening, thank you for listening and watching. Subscribe for more Cinema Royale. I will try to make these bi-weekly as scheduled usually. Since I'm in college, I'm trying to do this as a secondary thing for me to do, so just keep supporting me by watching this content and sharing it with all your friends and talking about movies wherever you can. With that, good night.
Don't you forget about us.
And remember,
Don't you forget about us. Rain keeps falling, rain keeps falling. If you leave, I won't cry, I won't shed a single tear. 7 years has gone too fast. Then again it has been 3 for us. Oh crap, I messed it up, it's the wrong song.
and remember, any similarity between Curly Sue and Shirley Temple is practically intentional. Ciao for now.
No, go! It's over! It's over! Go! Go home! All of you! Go! Screw! Go see Deadpool!
What the frick are you doing here? Don't you have anything better? Just go home.
Make a difference!
It's over. Go!
Eat a Charleston chew!
I was gonna say, I'm cute, I'll be back another episode. You'll find out when.
I gotta sleep another 3 years later.
I have to go now. My planet
needs me. Yip 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 yip. Oh, Hughes.